everyone, welcome back to my channel, East Bay Stamp Chick. This is Michelle, and today I have a fun tutorial for you. I have a Fun Fold 5x7 card, and I have several examples to show you of what it looks like, and then we will make one together so you can see. It's super easy, and I think it looks really cool too. This one is 5x7. There's a lot of tutorials out there for it to be an A2 size card already, but I thought 5x7 would be really fun and different. It is called the Corner Open Fun Fold, which I think is just like an awkward name, but that's what they call it. So I used all items from Pinkfresh Studios, and I'll show you what I used, and I just think it turned out amazing. So let me show you. I made 7 cards, and so we're going to make number 8 together, okay? So they're all the same as far as it being the same fun fold, and the same types of products used, but they all look different because of different patterned paper. I also tried to really make sure that I used sentiments that I thought would be super usable, because I know sometimes they include sentiments in these packs that I feel like, who would ever use that? So I wanted to make sure I used things that were usable. This comes together super quick because we're using, let me show you, foiled sentiments from Pinkfresh, so you don't have to do any stamping. They're already made for you. They're already cut out for you. Okay, we're using that, and we're using a roll of the washi. And those come with a die and all of that. I'll show you in a minute. And I used the Whimsical Blooms washi set. Okay, so here is card number 1. It does open up like a traditional card, so you could put a photograph in there, you could write a message, but if you undo the bow, it also pops open like that. And this would be a great spot to go ahead and put a gift card or a photograph. And I did do this. Let me see here. Let me grab a piece of paper. All of them are made where this is not completely glued down, so if you wanted to tuck a photograph or something underneath that, you could. Okay. All right. So check out that. Now, even the 12x12 paper is Pinkfresh Studio, and I don't know what they're really carrying at the moment. I think they're redoing their paper selection, but I got one of their grab boxes last year, which, oh my gosh, I think it was maybe like $39.99, and you got a 6x6, you got a ton of ephemera, and you got, I want to say something like 19 or 29 pieces of 12x12 paper or some crazy number. It was like a super great deal. So let me just show you the mechanism again. Okay, it does that, and then it opens up like a normal card. So look at that ephemera. And then I did add in some mirrored cardstock on here in a couple of spots, because I just, let me bring that up closer. I thought that was really pretty. And then this is some glitter cardstock right here as well. And then that's the ephemera from the washi tape. And I love this plaid on the outside and this floral paper on the inside. Super pretty. Okay, so let me put that over here. This is the next one. And I did them all, you know, similar, but yet they look different because the pattern paper is different. So hope today is filled with love, laughter, and everything good. And then I just love this yellow color. I think that is so pretty. So same thing. You can slide something underneath these flowers if you want. And you open that up and you've got more place to write, or you could add a photo. If you're sending this to someone, you want to put a family photo in there. No special reason, just wanted to say hi. I like the fact that all the sentiments are foiled, and then I've got additional glitter and foil elements that I think make it really sparkly and pretty. Okay, and same thing. All the card bases are 5x7, and they are made with 110-pound paper. You make my days brighter. Okay. Super pretty. I don't even know like what collections the paper goes to, but Pinkfresh Studio, a lot of times, all their colors kind of match really well, so it doesn't really matter. Just because you are so great. There we go. And the same on the inside. Wishing I could give you a great big hug right now. I just love like working that mechanism. It's so simple, but it looks so cool. I can always count on you to brighten my day. Nice little stripe in there. Okay. So what I used, the Foiled Sentiments pack, which comes with 42 pieces. I did add some enamel dots, and this one is, I think it's called Simple Things. I'm not sure. That was really tiny, so I'm not sure what that one's called. But I also used diagonal stitched rectangles, which is what I did. Let me show you the mirrored cardstock. You can see the stitching there, and you've got the little insert of the white, and then this white piece has the stitching on it as well. Okay. And then I used, this is the washi with the die. So it's called Whimsical Blooms. And all I did with this is stretch it out across some cardstock. And then I used the die to cut it out. And that gave me all my ephemera, which I have tons extra because I just cut out everything every time, even though I knew I wouldn't use it all. But I have all this ready to go. And it's just so pretty. And it's just so easy. Okay. So that is what I used. And let's make one today. Okay, to do this, you're going to start with a 5x7 base. So this is actually 10 by 7 inches, and it's scored in half. Okay, and I like to make sure that this is 110-pound cardstock or even heavier, because it is a big piece of paper, and if you use a 65-pound, it can get a little flimsy. You could do it, but especially you're going to put a lot of weight on this with that mechanism of the fun fold on the top and all the layers. You kind of want something a little thicker. So you need that. And then, let me see here. I do all my 5x7 cards kind of the same, meaning that, let me grab one here so I can show you. This fun fold area, when it's all folded up, it measures 4x6, and then there are 2 layers underneath it that create the frames. And I always kind of do that the same way because it works really well with your paper and cutting it up. So the glitter sheet is actually 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and then the mirrored cardstock is 4 1/2 by 6 1/2, and that creates the frames for your fun fold. Okay. To make your fun fold, you're going to need a piece of paper that measures 6 1/2 by 8 1/2, and we're going to score at the 2 1/2 on 2 sides. Okay. So here's what a plain paper looks like. You can kind of see the folds. Okay. And this, I recommend making one out of cardstock, like a 65-pound, something easy to fold, just to have as your practice one. And then I keep this as a reminder of what I need to do so I can make it again and again. Okay? So let me get my scoreboard. I have a piece of paper here, and this is 6 1/2 by 8 1/2. Got this pretty rose print on one side and this kind of sagey green on the other. So when you put it on the 6 1/2 inch side, I like my card to open up on the left, but I have made them where they open up on the right. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you what you like. So I'm going to show you to make it on the left, but you can do it the other way too. That's totally fine. And you're going to score this at the 2.5. Get this actually. Yeah, I'm going to do it on this side. So we're going to score it at 2.5. And I have already scored this. Okay, and then I'm going to rotate it. You see how I just rotated it to the long side and scored it at 2.5. Okay, so your scores create an X going across. I know that may be hard to see right now. Okay, then you're going to crease them really good. Excuse me. Okay, so you can see those creases. So you've got an off-centered cross, basically. Okay. Having this small square on the left side means yours is going to open to the left. If I wanted to open it to the right, I would fold it this way. That would put the roses on the inside, not on the outside, and the green on the outside. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. I just got like a tickle in my throat. Okay, I want my roses. I'm so sorry about that. I want my roses on the outside. Just a minute. I think I'm going to stop recording and come back. Hey everyone, I'm sorry I'm back. I totally had like a coughing, sneezing fit. So I'm back now, like allergies. It's allergy season. Excuse me. So, all right, we had scored our paper and we have folded it. So now we want to create the actual fun fold mechanism. And how we're going to do that is you're going to take this corner and fold it over. And how you know you have it in the right spot is to make sure that the fold lines right here and right here match. Okay, once you have those matching, you go ahead and use your bone fold or your crease tool to create the crease. It's so much easier, I think, to do it this way than to try and score this. So now, let me bring this up close. You can see how that score goes right through that cross. You might be able to see easier on this side. Okay, so you can see that. Then we're going to take it and fold it the other direction. Then you're going to take these two corners and bring them in, and that's going to bring in that fun fold. And then kind of go over that to reinforce that. And now you have your fold. Okay? So we scored at 2.5 and 2.5. Then we brought this down, and you can see, if I bring this up right, yeah, you can see how it matched the score line here and the score line here. They match up. That means it's in the right spot. Create your crease and then fold it back the other way and bring it in, and you're good to go. Okay? So now we can just assemble the card. All right. So to do this, I did cut out some ribbon. This is just some ribbon for my stash. And I'm going to take some double-sided tape and tear off a piece and about center that on the back. I'm not going to measure, but it's kind of centered. Now I liked to try my bows on the side of this. So I'm going to make it, one side is going to be shorter than the other because it has to go across the front. Okay, so I'm going to want it to be about right there. I'm going to peel off the backing of that double-sided tape. And lay that on the ribbon. Let's even that out a little bit. There we go. And so that way mine's going to tie over on the side. Okay. Then I can add all my layers here. So let me grab my glue. So this is really an easy card to make. But I think it, like, because people think it looks really cool. Now, you don't have to do the bow. You could just leave it without anything holding it shut, or you could do a belly band. I've done that before too. And that looks really cool. Let's glue this onto our card. So again, these layers, the glitter layer is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. I just cut those with my paper trimmer. And then the mirrored cardstock is 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. And then that leaves a really nice white sized border on a 5 by 7 card. And this, when folded, measures 4 by 6. So again, just gives you some nice borders. So now we can add glue to the back of this. I just used that double stick tape to kind of hold that ribbon in place so it doesn't move around on me. I just feel like that's easier. You don't have to do it that way. The other thing I also recommend, but you don't necessarily have to do, is if you use non-directional patterned paper, so you don't have to worry about things being upside down and trying to think like how you want it to fold so everything's right side up. That would be kind of my thing. That bugs me if stuff's upside down. So let's just make sure this sticks really good. A lot of times I'll put like a heavy book on top of that to hold it all down. Okay. Now, inside, I do have this. So let's glue this together. And we will, of course, get out ephemera from our washi tape to decorate all this. So this inside piece is, I forgot to measure that. What did I do? Okay, so the mirrored cardstock is 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, and the white cardstock is a 4 by 6. And again, that just gives us a nice border in there. And then let's see here. What do we have? I know I'm going to need one of these big ones for the front. And there's like a little flower. And then the inside, I need one of those. Excuse me. And what do we have here? Let's see if we have another one. And one of those. Okay. So I have all of this to play with, to utilize in more card making. Those washi tape rolls are just huge. There's so much. Okay, so the inside is this one. And I do have this kind of hanging off the edge a little bit just to add a little interest. And I just did everything flat, no foam tape, because this is a fairly bulky card. Anyways, now this is the white piece that I cut with the diagonal stitched rectangle frames. So we're going to glue that inside here. And I just used a 65-pound cardstock on this to keep it light. And I did move that up a little bit. And then this is the one that goes right there. Okay. And because we're making the cards, you know, the same, it goes really fast. And I did not glue the whole thing, so that way it is a little bit of a tuck spot. You could put something behind it. And then this goes on top. Now there is one thing to think about with this. You cannot just glue the whole thing down like you normally would glue a panel. Let me put the white on here first. This one gets glued onto your mirrored cardstock like normal. Okay, but this piece can only be glued to this corner. If you glue it to this piece down here, it will not flip. Or if you glue it here, it will not flip open. So it can only be glued to that corner. Okay? So I've only put glue right in that area. So it's only this corner that gets glued. Let's pick out a sentiment. Let's see here. I really liked the squared and rectangled foiled sentiments, so we'll put "Today is your day." And I'm going to do kind of like how I've done all of them. So we'll glue this down, and again, this can't be glued. Some of these edges you cannot glue down because you don't want glue off of this square. It has to still be able to move. So you can't glue this leaf down to this paper. It has to have the freedom to move. I'll put that over a little bit, and then I'll put that next to it. So otherwise everything is going on this little white rectangle. Okay. So easy, right? And so then this can go across and hold it all down, this little ribbon. This ribbon is super lightweight, so it won't add a ton of weight or bulk in the envelope. It'll flatten out if you put it in an envelope, and it'll be totally fine. You might need to pay a little extra to mail this because it is heavy, but otherwise it's fine. Okay, and so then that's our card. So really simple. Hope you try this. Definitely let me know if you try to make this card. But I think these all turned out so pretty. I love them. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't put any of the enamel dots on this one. Let me get a couple of enamel dots. I like to think about doing the green. Any of them would be pretty, but let's do the green because the green is showing underneath there. There we go. All right, so now we got enamel dots. Now we're done. So anyways, thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry about the coughing and sneezing fit, but anyways, hopefully that was okay. And if you make this, let me know. I would love to hear about it. And definitely subscribe down below if you want to see more crafty inspiration. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.